Hi, this is Linda from North Central Texas, and in this video we're going to make a pie crust, just a simple, ordinary one pie crust. First, and I'll have to tell you in the beginning, I use self-rising flour. You might use all-purpose flour. If you use all-purpose flour, be sure to put your 1 cup of flour, all-purpose flour, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 1/3 cup, I'm sorry, one teaspoon of salt, and that's it. I thought it had baking powder, but it doesn't. But if you're going to use plain flour, please use 1/2 teaspoon of salt. I'm using all-purpose flour, so I don't have to put salt in it. Also, you're going to need 1/3 cup plus 1 tablespoon of shortening, or 1/3 cup of lard, whichever you have that you're going to use. I'm going to use olive oil because that's what I've got on hand, and I'm going to use about a spoonful of just butter. I'm going to put that right in there. I'm going to pour my oil in. I mean, I'm all for one that just uses what I've got. So that's what I've got on hand. That's what I'm using. Now you're just going to have to work with your flour and your oil and your butter and just get it all mixed in together. This is the neatest little gizmo that one of my subscribers sent to me. It's great for doing this. And I guess that's why they made it, you know. It was made especially to do this. Now, if you want to, you can buy your pie crust already made. That's totally up to you. I'm using what I've got on hand because I've already got the flour. Just keep mixing it till you see that it's all that oil and butter is completely mixed up in your flour. It should be the consistency of almost like crumbs when you get it all mixed. Now what we're going to do is add cold water. We want really cold water. And we're only going to add like 1 or 2 at a time to get this all mixed up, because we don't want it to be real wet. That was 2. And I should have used my mixing spoon, not this one, because I'm a little short of a tablespoon when I do this. Just add it gradually. I'm going to try mixing it with my hands. I'm not sure I got quite enough water. I don't think I got enough water in there. So we're going to add just a little bit more cold water. Because you want it doughy, you don't want it real watery and loose. Got to get my hands in it. And I'm just basically getting my hands in there, getting a handful of it, and just kind of squeezing it. You know, I need more water. It's not enough water. But you only add like a tablespoon or two at a time until you get enough water in there. Because like I said, you don't want it real loose. But you want it doughy so you can form it into a ball. Well, just a tiny bit more. But you get my drift. Don't put it all in there at one time. Just put a little as you go. Till it finally will form a ball for you. And it pulls away from the side of your bowl. Let's see. It's not mixed up good because I can look at the color of it and tell. And you're basically going to roll it out to the size you need it. This is well, the whole pan measures about 10 inches. Let me turn this water off. I don't want it like that. I want... There you go. You can just rip it off and patch it up. Because you want it in a round shape. Like your pan. And you got to keep flour on it because if you don't, it's going to stick to your rolling pin. Like I said, it's easy enough to kind of patch up your your dough if it needs to be patched up. Just keep your... Well, it's supposed to be, but it keeps sticking to my roller. So I may have to just do this number and start over. Because it probably wasn't mixed enough. It's too dry. It's a little bit too dry. Just a little bit too dry. And use your measuring utensils if you have them. Don't just rely on the spoon like I did. Because I think that's where I messed up with the measuring of the water. Dough is a little forgiving, so if you mess up the first time, just pick it up and start over. Making sure my camera's still on. Now we'll try it again. And you'll have to apply a little bit of pressure on your dough when you do this. And you'll have little places you might need to patch it up, but that's okay. You can always put another piece of dough in there. So we get it up. Just turn it on itself till you make a quarter. Pick it up, put it in your pan, about halfway. And I can already tell this is going to be a little bit big for this, but it's close. Because I went by the 8-9 inch recipe, using just 1 cup of flour. And if it doesn't meet at the top, you can just push it and lap it over in places you need it to lap over in. Or tear a piece off another section and put it up there. But this is just your basic pie crust. Now, since this is going to be a pumpkin pie, you can add a little bit of cinnamon to your crust if you wanted to. It's not necessary, but you can do it. Now anywhere where it's hanging over, you can trim off. Push it down because I don't want it real thick at the top and around the edges. And you can add what little bit you have left over to places where it may not have went as far. I hope you can see what I was doing. See, like a place like this, you've got a piece of dough that you can put there and just mash it in and spread it. Some of these are way too thick. I didn't roll it out as quite as... So you can see I'm not perfect either. I'm not one of these professional bakers. But any of those little pieces you cut off, you can patch up other places with. Think of it as Play-Doh. And you're making your crust out of your Play-Doh, and you got to make it fit your pan. And that's what I'm doing. I'm making it fit my pan. When it's cooked, it's going to go all together anyway, so you're not even going to know it. I want just a little bit up over the edge, not a whole lot. And you're going to take a fork and just press it. You're making little grooves around the top of your crust. And it just gives your dough a kind of a nice little finished edge. All the way around. And there's our pie crust. Looks kind of funky because I didn't get the very bottom of it real even. See how much time we got on here. I got dough under my fingernails. I hate that. But I may have time to go ahead and do the pie. The whole pie. Let's see what I need for my pie filling. Plus I need my bowl. So I'll get my bowl washed up. And we'll maybe go ahead and make our pumpkin pie. I got my Christmas towel out already. See a hole in it. I don't want a hole. But it'll go together whenever Now, let's see what we need for a pie. Okay, here we go. Gonna heat it up to 375. Get my cast iron frying pan out of there. Let that be heating while we get our ingredients. And, you know, my previous video, I made my pumpkin puree already. I showed y'all how to do that. And we're going to use 1 egg. I know we're going to need pumpkin pie spice. Well, I'll see what else. I know we need the other stuff too. But we need 1 egg. I'm going to put that right there. Pumpkin pie spice. We've got our pie crust. We need 1 1/4 cups of canned pumpkin. You ought to know I had my measuring cup in the sink. So let me wipe that out and get it a little bit dry. We need 1 1/4 cup. Looks like mashed potatoes is what it is, but it's just mashed pumpkin. And I'm just going to put it in there and kind of squish it down to make sure I've got what I need in there. Get the air bubbles out. There's one. And 1/4 is what we need. Where's my 1/4 mark at? Right there. That's more than 1/4. That's about 1/4 right there. So there, we got our pumpkin. That's our pumpkin puree that we made. We need 2/3 cup of sugar. And I'm going to have to wash my cup out again because this is the only measuring cup I've got. And I know the sugar's going to stick because it'll be damp. But oh well. It'll dry out a little. Well, I don't know why I was thinking we needed brown sugar in this, but it doesn't call for the brown sugar. And I went and brought brown sugar today because I thought it went in this recipe. I think it's my spice muffins that goes in. Two-thirds cup. Got stuff everywhere. Okay, it calls for cinnamon, ginger, cloves, you know what? I think that pumpkin pie spice has all that in there. Yeah. So we don't need to do that. We can just put our pumpkin pie spice in there. See, 1/4, that's 1 spoonful. I'm going to put about 1 and not quite 2 teaspoons of pumpkin spice. Because that's got your cloves, your cinnamon, everything in it. 1 1/2 cups of evaporated milk. We can do that. Oh, I keep bringing up condensed milk, not evaporated. Where's my evaporated milk? I've got plenty of it. Where is it? Well, any other time it would be falling out at me. You know what? I know I've got some over here on this side. That's the pits. I didn't have all my stuff ready. Y'all just bear with me. I'll have my milk in a minute. There it is. It was right there. If it was a snake, it would have bit me. Always mix your milk up real good before you open it. And you know what? I am going to mix up this just a little bit because I got that egg in there. It's easier to kind of mix the egg up before you add the milk. But it says to add 1 1/4 cup evaporated milk. That's 1. I somehow don't think all that's going in that pie pan. And that's your 4th. And you're supposed to use a rotary beater with this, not my spoon, so. Let me get my mixer out. I may have to move it over here a little ways to mix it, because I don't know if this is going to reach. Maybe it will. Usually I do it on the other side of the counter. Because I know it'll reach. Let me check on something just a minute. Well, I just lost my recipe. We are going to put this in right now and cook it for probably about 10 minutes on 375 while we're mixing this up. We'll raise the heat to 425. And I'm going to get a cookie sheet because I always put my pies on a cookie sheet so they don't boil over. I don't want them to boil over in the oven. I don't know if you can see that. Move this camera back here a ways. But you can see I put my pie pan on the cookie sheet. You got to mix this for 7 minutes. Or until you think it's really good mixed. And this is where I'm going to add my a little extra cloves, not much. A little extra, where is it, cinnamon. And I'm going to put in a little extra cinnamon. Nutmeg and cinnamon. Not much. I always like adding extra. That should be enough. Well, that's not gonna... I've got a little lever here that you're supposed to mash to get... Here they are. The lever didn't want to work, y'all. And I tell you, I don't have any hopes that this pan is going to hold that much. But we'll see what we can do here. I'm going to get another... No, I'll use this. Clean it out good. Because I don't want to pick it up and try to pour it in there, so I'm just going to dip it out with a cup. And my house is a little uneven, so I'm almost afraid to try to put too much more in there. Because it's going to drip out. I know it's going to drip out. Turn it around a little. You can tell my house is uneven. By the way, my pies want to leak out one side when I fill them up. Let me clean that up because I don't want it to burn. And I'm going to put that in there. Hopefully without spilling it. That's what these little baking dishes are good for. I've got leftover pie filling. And it's not enough for another pie. guess what? If you got a little Pyrex baking dish like this, you got a little pumpkin pie custard bowl. So I'm going to put that in there on the baking sheet. And that's going to cook right along with my pie. And we are going to cook it for, let's see, pour into. We're going to bake it 15 minutes, and it says you might have to bake it a little bit longer. Can be up to 35 minutes, depending on the pie. Well, you bake it for 15 minutes, reduce the heat to 350, and then you bake it, reduce oven temperature just 350, and bake it for 35 more minutes. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to put my phone on 15 minutes. Oh, I don't want settings. Got to get this thing set. My thing will come up. Clock, there it is, timer. Don't want it for hours, I want it for 15 minutes. Start. So, I'm going to cook it for 350 for 15 minutes, and then we're going to reduce the heat. And we should pretty soon have a pumpkin pie, y'all. Yeah, you see what I go through with my kitchen. That's why I don't have a big mixer sitting on the counter. I don't have counter room. And I'm going to keep you with me. I'm not going to stop the video and start it again. A lot of people don't like it when I do that. So we're not going to stop it and start it. I'm going to leave it here until I turn the temperature down. I get my mess cleaned up. And we're going to see what kind of pie we got. Well, I might cut it off when it goes to cooking another 35 minutes. Because I don't think anybody's going to want to stay on there that long to watch it. And I've got too many doohickeys for my kitchen, I guess. And I've still got enough pumpkin here probably to make another pie. But I'm not making that tonight. If I'd have realized that, you know, it's been last year since I've made a pie. So, because I only make them at Thanksgiving and Christmas time. I would have went ahead and made the other one, but like I said, I can make pumpkin spice muffins with that, so it's not going to go to waste. It will definitely not go to waste. I'll dry this off so I can put it away. Like I said, it always helps to clean as you go. I forgot which way that went. This way. Bleach my counter out again. It's getting a little stained, not much, but yeah, I've got Christmas out already. It's on 450 for the 15 minutes, and we got like 7 more minutes to go. And then we can take that out and well, not take it out. We can turn the temperature down and leave it in there for another 35 minutes. I mean, that recipe called for 8 to 9 inch pie pan. No, 8 inch. And that's what the ingredients I put in there. But man, that was a lot of mixture. Well, if my oven was even, it probably would have held it all. But since my oven is not even, it's not going to hold it. So I hear little buddy scratching at the door. He's already been fed. I don't know why he's coming back. I think he's spoiled. He thinks any time that he comes and scratches on the door, he's supposed to be fed. You got food in your dish, so go eat it. I guess you can see him. Yeah. He's already got food in his dish, so I'm not messing with him. He can eat what he's got, and then he can go back outside. But here is my seeds. My pumpkin seeds that came out of that one little pumpkin. I've got them here drying. And every once in a while, you know, you kind of need to stir them up. They will stick. Even though I rinsed them off, they'll stick a little bit. So just unstick them and mix them around and let them dry for several days. I mean, that's a whole bunch of pumpkin seeds right there. And I've already got some I saved from last year, but they're not the little pumpkins like this. The ones I saved from last year were the really big ones. So I can't wait to try these smaller pumpkins in the fall. I mean, in the spring when I plant again. Okay, 4 more minutes. Little buddy, what do you think, huh? It's almost pumpkin time. I'm getting it hot in here. I think he came in because he wants attention. But I'm not going to pet you right now. No, I'm not, because I'm cooking. I don't want to pet a kitty cat and then mess with my food. He's just rubbing all over my legs. Yeah, he's just rubbing all over my legs. He wants attention. He wants some loving. Yes, he does. He wants loving. And I don't think you can see him. See his tail. Yeah, he wants loving. That's all he wants. Get over here so you can see him. My viewers love little buddy. Yeah, they love little buddy. Yeah, they love little buddy. Yeah, they love little buddy. Just a couple more minutes and I'll turn it down and we'll leave it in there until it's done. Let's see the time on my camera. I wish I could just like pause it, but my camera will not pause. It'll either stop and then start again. What do you think, huh? But anyway, I'm going to leave it in there for another 2 minutes. Then I'm going to turn the temperature down to 350. It's on 425 right now. I'm going to turn the temperature down to 350 degrees, and I'm going to leave it in there for another 35 minutes. And I will get back with you when I get it ready to take out. Well, I think it's time to get my pie out. I left it in there for the 35 minutes on 450 or 350. But it didn't seem to be done. So then I put it back in there and cooked it for another 10 minutes. So I think mine was closer to a 9-inch pan. then an 8-inch pan, and the 9-inch, you cook it at 450 for 15 minutes. Turn your oven back to 350, and then cook it for another 45 minutes. Is what I had to do with mine. And there you got a pumpkin pie. And like I said, I had some left, so I put it in my custard dish, which is, you know, heat proof, so you can bake in it. So I've got an individual little pumpkin pie custard that I can put some Cool Whip on top and have a little side dessert. So I just wanted to show you that. So there it is. That was my pumpkin pie right from the crust to bringing it out of the oven. And it's too hot to cool. I don't want to have to pause my camera and start it again just to cut it and show you a piece. But you can see the whole pie. So that's looking good, y'all. So I'll get back with you on another video.